How's it going, everybody? This is Novakast back with another video for you guys. With this one, we'll be reacting, or at least reviewing, the last video, or last episode. More so with, well, Cowboy Bebop. That being episode 10, which was titled, if I remember correctly, the Supernova Symphony. I don't know why I said sympathy, but whatever. Anyways, so it kind of follows after Sad Clown A Go-Go, where Spike had just fought the assassin, and he's basically rescued, not by Jet or Phayn, but rather Anne and Jean, or Anna and Jean, who rescue him, bandage him up, and proceed to kind of take care of him. They're trying to nurse him back to health. And to a degree, at this point, Spike is kind of considering going after Vicious. At the worst time, Phayn and Jet show up to see that, you know, Spike's okay, but soon gets a call, or at least Jet gets a call, to find out that Kimmy, his daughter, has been kidnapped. And the only way he can get his daughter back is by exchanging Spike, or Fearless, for his daughter. Enraged by basically the, I guess, if anything, the dishonesty from Spike, he just, you know, at first goes with their plan to just take Spike over there by force. And to an extent, Phayn doesn't agree with this and walks off. Going further than that, they reach one of the syndicate distribution plants, where they see Kimmy with Vicious and a bunch of Vicious goons. And at first, they're about to do the exchange, but unfortunately, or at least, I guess to an extent, Jet proceeds to call out to Spike, who was in the trunk, by the way, shoots out several of the goons, and they basically kind of take out a few of them, only to find out that Vicious and Kimmy are not there. In fact, they're actually holograms. And a bunch of goons come and basically beat the living shit out of them. Like the next thing we see of Jet and Spike, they're in a church, tied up. Jet's arm is busted up, and he is basically very, very bloodied, as well as Spike. In between this, we also have Julia, I guess, who is being taken to a safe house, but is saved by one of Vicious's goons. So, yeah, she, after being told to, you know, find Spike, she, you know, gets out of the car, or the wreckage of a car, because they basically caused the vehicle to crash, and she goes to find Spike. Vicious, you know, goes on this whole diatribe about how he was his brother and this and that. And before he has a chance to kill Spike, Phayn shows up in her acquired ship that she got, which I believe was in episode 7. It was episode 7, Galileo Hustle. And probably one of the funniest, you know, I'm not gonna lie, one of the funniest lines from Phayn was she's using machine guns on, like, just all on these syndicate guys, and she says something along the lines of, "Welcome to the ouch, motherfucker." I honestly, just the immature portion of me kind of like had a giggle of that, because I thought it was really funny. As she's like mowing down all of these syndicate members, and also using, I guess, for her attack, also using kind of like thermal reader or something to determine, you know, where everybody's at. and she realizes where two objects were Spike and Jet, and proceed to shoot away the ropes. And to a degree, she saves the day. Oh, and also in this episode, she comes across something that may resemble something similar to her past. That's something else I should bring up. But going further, Phayn shows up, and she's able to rescue Jet and Kimmy. Though Fearless, or Spike, feels he has some unresolved issues to deal with. So, sure enough, they leave. Spike proceeds to head up to the upper level of the church to take on Fearless, or not Fearless, Vicious. And for the most part, they almost both seem equally matched till Spike gets stabbed, and unfortunately Vicious gets the upper hand by grabbing Spike's gun. But he is immediately shot by Julia, who basically, and this is like different from the show or the anime, where apparently she kind of pulls a 180, and instead of wanting to, leave the syndicate, she actually wants to take it over. And basically, to prove that, shoots Spike out a window. And more than likely, with the height that he was at, he'd probably die. But apparently he doesn't. Julia, now kind of like I guess not the husband, I almost said husband, but the wife of, Vicious, takes command, basically hiding Vicious in a little boiler room of what I'm assuming is their house or one of their facilities. And to a degree, is basically overtakes the throne. By the end of the episode, we have a moment where basically Phayn has drifted. She's no longer part of the Bebop. Jet, I guess, is now in worse terms now with his wife or ex-wife, and him and Spike are done. Last moments we see of Spike is literally coming out of a bar, drunk, and unfortunately collapses, and is approached by probably the worst aspect of the show, especially since it comes last minute. Oh my gosh. From Edward. Why? Why bring this character in? It's like the whole Rhino thing with Amazing Spider-Man. Why bring this character last minute? It was just so stupid. But again, they were kind of trying to set up something else, but unfortunately, we won't get that because there's only one season. So, okay, so final thoughts of the whole series itself, because at first I was not in a particularly, I want to say biased mindset. And I say that especially I have to accuse a lot of other people that have reviewed it, because I'm not going to lie, a lot of us have seen the show. I partially remember the show, but I've seen it. I watched the movie too, and I freaking love it. So, to an extent, a lot of us have that bias because we've seen the original, and we don't want to watch anything different. Or if anything, we are afraid of something bad happening to the source material, or a negative outlook of the source material. So, to a degree, especially going further into this, I did my best to try to be not as biased as I would usually, or at least when it comes down to trying not to be biased and treat this as its own type of media, which to an extent partially worked. Although I kind of quoted, for the last few episodes, I kind of quoted the other series on and off, but in the end, it all worked out. There's some parts that I like, some parts I didn't. I like the usage of the original music. Some of the action scenes were really good. CGI, I've noticed, especially with a lot of shows nowadays, is almost movie quality to a certain degree. I like the aesthetic. I like the... Because to an extent, it seemed like, especially for their version of the future, or like you know, space colonies and whatnot, it's almost like half dirty to a very large degree. And sure enough, we kind of get that aesthetic, and it looks really good, especially in transition to live action. I honestly, when it comes down to the villains, some of them are interesting, some of them are weird. Some changes are weird. I don't like Vicious. I've said this repeatedly. I don't like Vicious at all. He's not a very competent villain, or if anything, Vicious was not a very... honestly, not a great villain. Kind of, like, really, really one note. But, to a degree, again, it had its ups and downs. I'm not going to completely hate it. But at the same time, I'm not going to say that it's, you know, completely the greatest thing that has ever been come out, or has come out, that has been similar to a source material. So, all in all, it was an interesting experience, to say the least. But that's all I can say. With that, though, I think I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Truly appreciate it. If you guys can, please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. If you guys want to follow us on social media, links are in the description down below, as well as check out our daily content and the weekly podcast. With that being said, this is Rob Novakast signing off. Have a good one. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.